I'm not sure if that's deep enough. The fact is, when I come up from the bottom with the triggers, I'll cut all that right there. That'll be a hole clear through. That lets me get my safety switch, my button, operable. That gives me enough room to do that. There's a fulcrum right there. There's something rocking right there at that safety position. So there's still something hitting. Could be one of these pins. I'm going to tap it in there lightly and see if it'll leave me a scuff. I'm just going to put pressure on the front with my hand. Tap it in. Keep in mind, there's only 2 screws that hold this in, 2 points of pressure, one in the front, one in the back. So I will be putting pressure on the back of this thing when it's assembled. It floats from there to there. It's really tight right in there. It's really hitting real tight. I mean, I like tight, but to a point. I'm to the place I can relieve this tightness on the sides to at least let somebody be able to take it apart and put it together. I see where that little fulcrum was hitting. There's a pin right here beside, right in that safety mechanism. There's a little pin. I just need to give it some clearance. See all this black in here? That's all that tightness I was talking about. Now I'm close enough to there where I can relieve this. The reason I don't take it away at first is I may need to ooch this thing this way or this way. That depends on which side I relieve. But it's staying true to the middle, so I can relieve both sides of those little smudges and be okay with that. I think I need to go ahead and cut that trigger in, because this goes in easily enough. Having this in place, I'm going to work on putting this bottom in, at least get my initial outline. Man, what I got to do is mark a place on this trigger group, mark a place where the wood and the metal meet. And if I can put that mark in there, then I can drop it in. I can't put it in with this all in the way, because I can't go straight in. It's got to go in from front back. I hope this is parallel from here to, it fans out right there and it dips in right there, and it's just, I don't know if this is even parallel or not. It almost looks like it's wider here than here. At the very extreme front, it is 0.981, and back here at the back is 0.976. So yeah, even that is 10 thousandths different. It's made to put in from the front back and be a taper to where it fits, it jams up tightly. Whoever made this gun was just unbelievably, they paid attention to every detail. Okay, so that's in. Let I'm going to put a little mark. I don't know if I can even see that mark. This is crazy. Whoever made this thing probably had some templates, little templates to go by, but I don't. So I'm going to have to rely on measurement. I know where the back of it is. It goes from that mark to the back of that metal. That's the back. Which is about right there, but I'm going to mark it a little bit shy of that so I can not overcut it. I don't want to overcut it. The idea here, number one, is don't get outside this outer mark. That outer mark is sacred. Don't cross that line. In the meantime, I'm going to start going from the front back and taking out the deepest, widest things first, staying inside that outline. So the first thing I got is my shears. That's what releases the hammer. When you push the trigger down, that way this releases. So that's the first thing I'm going to do, is take out clearance for these shears. And the width on them is 0.57. So it's about what I've got marked right here on one side only, but it goes to both sides. And they go back to, I have a profile line drawn on the front just as a reference where I can see it. I just kind of sketched around that right there. But the shears go back about to right there. So I can take out that to there, back to there, and this wide, and they are approximately three-quarters deep. They've got tenths and millimeters and sixteenths and 30-seconds on the same ruler. Very, very confusing. It is exactly three-quarters to this deepest place. And that is from this perfect edge of the bottom, and I've got about maybe a 16th more wood here than I need, so I've got to go 13/16 deep and cut that out. Journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. A stalk begins with the first cut. I'm about 3/16 not deep enough. I don't know if you can see it on the camera or not, but when I got down to the right depth, the chips started falling out the bottom down here. And that's because I connected with that hole that comes in from the top for the safety. Those shears contact that safety. So that connected those two holes. Now I've got to lighten this thing up for the next thing, which is this spring. And I do not have a clue what that spring controls, but it is highly polished and it is a really pretty piece of work. But it controls something, and it's off-centered. It's only on the near side. And so I only have to go from the halfway, from the center line toward me, which is drawn out right there. That's that spring. Now the depth on that thing, from the finished surface down to the bottom of this screw, I'm not going to take it out to that screw. I'm going to take it out to the bottom of the spring, which is 7/16. And I'm actually going to adjust the pitch of this stock where it's in the clamp, because it starts to turn up right there. And like I said before, I've got to keep this thing, the cuts, level. The cutting area is what stays level. And that's about level right there.